Okay.
Cool. And this would be, it's not broadcasting on YouTube right now, but for
Correct.
purposes of looking at it maybe later.
Oh.
The other things.
Hold on. Oh, it's trying to go to mass. No, remove that. Yes. Remove that.
I brought my dice. Oh, which are creepy dice, which I love. Ooh. I think these are Cthulhu. They're green.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that cool? Yeah. I'll wait until Kitty gets back. But the house rules we like to play with when I play this are you can do a critical success and a critical fail. So a critical success is if your intelligence is a 70 and I ask you to roll to roll under that 70. If you get a 66, that counts as a critical success because you've rolled under and it's double numbers. So whatever double numbers is either a critical success or a critical failure. So if you had transversely, if you had a charisma, you have a charisma of like, I'm looking at somebody's character sheet, I don't remember who this is. If you have a charisma of 55 and you roll a 77, that's a critical fail. The only thing that is automatically a critical success no matter what is a 69, and you have to say nice. And that's
nice.
Those are the house rules. So double numbers is either a critical success or a critical fail, depending on if it's over or under the score that you are trying to reach. And then a 69 is always a critical success.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And the goal in this game is to roll under whatever it is that you're requesting to do. So that's why it's much more difficult if you have like a search skill of 40% and you roll, you could fail. And that means that you just don't find anything. You're distracted or whatever. So yeah, you're trying to get underneath that number, but certain people, like I assume Samuel Knight has like a much higher search skill because you're a detective. That's what you do. So you're really good at searching for things, but other people are not.
Yeah, I have an 80.
Nice. Yeah. 80's like expert level sort of stuff.
That on. Oh, I did change one thing, Melissa. It said Marlboros, and I was like, wouldn't it be edgier if he smoked cloves?
Like, I think Joseph will appreciate that.
It's so hard to be addicted to cloves. Like you smoke two, and you're just like, I think I'm quitting. No, but this guy, he's just.
I think smoking cloves makes you goth daddier.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what changed when he went down the path. He was like, I'm smoking cloves from now on.
Just cloves forever. Yeah.
Saw some shit, changed a cigarette brand. It's understandable. Who hasn't been there before?
They're black like my heart.
Yeah.
That is one question I did want to have before we got started. Is this game, when I've played it, tends to be a whole lot of swearing. But again, I play it with military people, so they tend to be a whole lot of swearing in general. Yeah, so that's what I'm asking. Are we avoiding cursing? What are we doing?
Well, this is going to be this is going to Twitch, so we can curse. Yeah, I would say yes. And I'll even, again, we can put it on a thing that says language, I guess.
Yeah. I've kind of been, when I've been prepping this, I've kind of been thinking of the Bailey Sarian sort of intro. If you've ever seen her Murder Makeup Mondays, I don't know. She's a YouTube personality. And she says, like, warning, this next content will include graphic knowledge of crime scenes and adult content. Viewer discretion is advised, which always works.
Yeah. And we can absolutely do that.
Okay.
So,
yeah. We'll see how far into that we get.
All right. Would you like to do you as a main screen to start with?
Sure, and I can read that intro that my friend wrote me.
So I'll put you on as main screen and then introduce. So I'll have done an introduction for the game itself as a pre, and then we'll come into this as you reading the preamble, as it were. So let's do that. I guess we are starting. We're ready to go, everybody.
Okay.
Oh, as I remove her from the screen, accidentally hitting the wrong button.
You tell me when to go.
Disarray. Here we go. Boop. Let's try that again. Doing. Ready when you are.
Okay. Blackout. We fade in on the interior of a sparsely furnished apartment. Dim light filtered yellow through a dusty lampshade. An older-looking gentleman sits on a worn brown sofa, back hunched in the posture of a man who has spent most of his life behind a desk. He holds an antiquated cell phone to his ear with one hand and a cigarette burnt nearly to the filter in the other, blue smoke snaking forgotten into the air. Clyde Bauman waits until the call goes to voicemail to hang up, wanting to hear his daughter's recorded voice, at least, but not able to bear the thought of her deleting his voicemail unlistened to. He sighs, disappointed but unsurprised, and stuffs the phone back into his pocket. He reaches out and takes a powdered donut from the box in front of him, taking a bite without really tasting it. It has been 3 months since any of his children bothered to take his calls. He's used to it, of course. Deserves it, probably. So why, this time, out of all the times, does the rejection hurt so badly? His heart aches. He remembers what the doctors told him. Clyde Bauman stumbles to the bathroom, making for the medicine cabinet. His legs give out before he can reach it, and as he falls to the floor, he catches the towel rack, dragging it down from the wall with a clatter. His breath is growing short, his head is swimming. He reaches for the phone in his pocket, fumbles at the keypad. One final chance at salvation. Clyde Bauman breathes his last, and as his phone clatters to the ground at the side, our view pans over to his face, and we see that the number that he was dialing was not 911. Blackout. Welcome to Delta Green. Ooh. So that's where we're playing today, which is kind of exciting. Let's get to know our characters a little bit. So, why don't we start with Dr. Peter Shell? Peter Shell, you are, can you give us a little bit of an intro of who you are and what you're doing here?
Okay, yeah, I'm Dr. Shell. You can call me Peter. Formerly of NASA, no longer. I'm currently working on a pretty important project in looking into outer space because here's the thing. I don't want to say aliens, but aliens.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. Why don't we get to Eliana McMurdy from Mossad?
Hey guys, I'm Eliana. I'm on vacation. Figured since they decided that I needed a small break, that I'd come over here and just see how the U.S. is again, and maybe visit some family, and before I head back to Spain to go and hang out with Mom.
Very cool. All right, let's check in with Dr. M.A. Davenport.
Yes, hello everyone. Dr. Montgomery A. Davenport. A could stand for Aloysius. It also could stand for asshole, depending on who you're talking to. But anthropologist and a mediocre photographer. I like my work, but not everyone does. And currently just guest lecturing students and giving them a look into our field and a bit into the occult. So that's what brings me through.
Awesome. Making a note here. And finally, just a brief intro from Samuel Knight, the detective.
Hey, Samuel Knight, private investigator. I just got called in for this. Why? Because the normal police can't handle it because they don't know shit. So.
Excellent. All right. Let's do with a little interesting intro scene. So we'll say it is today. It is Sunday the 20th in December. We're closing in on the holidays. Dr. Peter Shell, let's start with you. You're in a conference in Philadelphia. You're finishing up this awesome sort of NASA type conference. You're part of the staff that's supposed to be presenting some things. Neil deGrasse Tyson is the keynote speaker that's supposed to be going on tonight. You're so excited. And as you are presenting some things, NASA adjacent kind of stuff, there gets to be a point where people are talking about black holes. And the recent scientific discoveries that there are things that are going into black holes that are just vanishing out of the sky. There are things that are maybe black holes that are bigger than you've ever anticipated, and the scientific community is a little freaked out about that. And while all that's going on, you find yourself suddenly queasy, and you feel real. Your hands are getting clammy, and you're just suddenly like, I just have to leave. I just have to leave for a second. So you step out of the conference, and you think for a second about maybe texting your husband and just trying to check in with him to see how things are going, and just being like, I had a moment. I just need to do this. And as you pull out your phone, you get a text from an unknown number, and it informs you that you've won a new car, but anyone else would mistake that for some kind of phishing scam, but you know what it is. So looking through all of the text, you start to figure something out. What do you think that text says?
The
Yeah, that you got a text message that's going to tell you where you're supposed to meet people, and it's a secret Delta Green message. What do you think a secret Delta Green message looks like to a NASA person?
Like all the other secret Delta Green messages that I, a NASA person, have received from Delta Green.
Cool.
That's exactly what it looks like.
It gives you some coordinates. It's one of those messages that looks like if you click on a link that it's supposed to take you to something, but the blue text is actually coordinates. So you type that in, and it ends up being oh gosh, what was that address? It's a post office. It's the main post office in Philadelphia, which is, I think it's 2900 Market Street, maybe 2910. So, and there's a time frame, which is at 3:00, which is supposed to be in about 2 hours. So you're going to start making your way over there. Similarly, Eliana, you are hanging out in Philadelphia, just sort of checking out the sights, looking at the Liberty Bell. It looks cracked. Great. And you are expecting a text from a lover, hopefully that you guys would maybe get a chance to hook up soon, or maybe we'll just have some fun texting back and forth. And instead, you get something in Hebrew. Now, what you're looking at is in Hebrew, but it's technically gibberish. It's just a bunch of words all in weird orders. It looks like somebody who's never written Hebrew before, but you know what this means.
Alrighty, okay. I guess vacation, so great. And I'll follow those coordinates to where it tells me to go.
And that is also taking you to the address of the Philadelphia post office. It's the main post office, by the way. It's a huge building if you want to pull it up. Dr. Davenport, you are doing the guest lecture at Temple, and you have doing a really great job just talking about some anthropological things. And then someone, kind of as a joke, asks you about cryptozoology. And at first, you're sort of okay with that. You think it's kind of funny, and everybody's sort of laughing. And then you get this real serious look on your face, and you start talking about cryptozoology as if it's a really underfunded science that people should take more seriously. And everyone kind of nervously looks at you for a second, and then you're like, class dismissed. And then they all leave. And as you do that, you notice there's a book on your desk that someone left behind. So you go over to that book and just kind of flip through it, just curious what's in there. And you notice that there's a note inside of the book, and it tells you to go into the library. So you're very excited. You get to check out a couple of new, maybe there's a mystery here to solve, very Scooby-Doo-esque.
Mm-hmm.
And you go into the library and pull out the book that's mentioned in the note that was in the previous book. And inside of that is one of your photographs printed out. Now it's grainy, black and white, but someone lifted this from a private website. This isn't the kind of stuff that you publish right now. It's not the kind of thing that you share on your social media. It's someone found this and specifically looked it up for you. And on the back is a list of coordinates and address. and that is to meet at the Philadelphia post office at 3 o'clock. Finally, Samuel Knight. It's a nice Sunday, and this is one of the few times that you get chances to hang out with your kid. So even though it's snowy, you're playing outside, just playing ball, having fun, kind of chilling. And as you're having fun with your kid, you get a text message, and you pull it up on your phone, and it says that the IRS needs to contact you about an important matter.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what that means.
Cat in a tree. That's not something that private investigators really do anymore. But yeah. My cat's in a tree. Help me, my knight in shining armor. Yeah, that's.
Well, that means you've got to skip the rest of Sunday with your kid to go to a place in Philadelphia. And that's what Delta Green is like. So everybody rolls up to the post office in Philadelphia. Yeah, this is a real place. So if anyone playing at home wants to check it out, you can. I think it's at 2900 Market Street, Philadelphia, PA. You can pull it up. It is a stately building, quite large, really nicely appointed for being a post office because it was one of the first post offices ever created in this country. So real fancy looking for a post office. You come in at first, all of you, individually. And at the front desk is a woman named Rita. Just says Rita on her nameplate. She's like, what all you guys doing here? I don't know. It's a Sunday. You shouldn't even be in here. How did you even get in the keys? I don't get it. What are you doing here? Anybody have an answer for her?
The door's always open for me, and I hide my lockpick that I. There's a cat in a tree somewhere that somebody needed help with, apparently. I'm Samuel Knight. I have a reservation.
Oh, you guys are supposed to be in the conference center. I'll get Carisi. Hang on. So Rita goes in the back, and you hear an exchange where clearly this woman is screaming somewhere deep into the bowels of this building, which, even though it's a very large building, you wouldn't expect it to have that much space, but it does. And you start hearing this like, hey, Carisi, hey, you gonna do something about this? Yeah, you gotta come down here. I can't just show them up. I gotta do stuff. Can you just come down? And then finally, you see someone who looks probably a little bit more like me. It's got a nice vest that is clearly somewhat tactical, and it's got a whole bunch of accoutrement attached to it. This is a person who is clearly a Philadelphia police officer. And they're like, oh, you guys are here. Okay, come on in. And he shows you into the rest of the area, goes into a conference room. It's just a boring conference room. It's down a long hallway. Apparently there are lots of conference rooms inside of a post office, for all that it matters. And he brings all of you together. He says, all right, here's the deal. Last night, this guy, Clyde Bowman, died of a heart attack in his house. He's a Delta Green former agent, and we need you guys to go to his house and investigate it and find everything that's DG in there and get rid of it. I would have called in some other people, but you guys are all close, so this should be a pretty easy operation. You got 48 hours to clear the place and be thorough. Any questions?
Is there any list of items that he would have?
He used to work for us back, in the 80s-ish, and then the 90s, and then since then, a lot of that paperwork just never got transferred into digital stuff, so we really don't know what he's got.
So everything.
Maybe.
I have a question.
Yeah.
He died.
Yeah.
He just died. So, should we be expecting whoever came after him to come after us?
That is an interesting question.
People in Delta Green can just die. That can just happen. But
absolutely.
What?
if you would like to roll, maybe I'll first roll of the day.
Oh,
If you would like to roll, let's just do. Yeah. Do you have human intelligence?
I don't have a number written down, but I have this 10% next to it.
Yeah, that's the base value. So if you want to do it, or yeah, if anybody else wants to roll a human intelligence, feel free to do so.
I certainly am.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have a 70 and I got a 26.
Okay, so that's definitely a success. Anybody else succeeding?
I got a 20.
Let me run a quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I have a 30 and I rolled a 10.
Nice. Cool. All right. So Peter, you're asking, but you don't necessarily know what's going on. You're paranoid. You've always kind of been paranoid. So even if Carisi's telling you that, yeah, he totally died of a heart attack, you still think that there's something up. Davenport and Knight, based on your human intelligence and your ability with people, you know that as far as Carisi knows, he absolutely died of a heart attack. There's nothing unusual about this guy. He was old. That might be something that you could attempt to look into otherwise. But yeah, based on what Carisi knows about this dude, he totally died of a heart attack, and that wasn't completely out of the ordinary.
Huh.
So
I will make a mental note and remain suspicious.
What's up,
not to
Davenport?
speak out of turn, but if we're being sent in to gather everything that belongs to a former agent, why did Delta Green wait until he died to get things back?
Well, it's the kind of thing that it didn't necessarily need to happen until now. He hasn't worked for us directly and since like the 90s, maybe early 2000s at best. So he gets to keep what he wants until there's a point where his family's coming in 48 hours. So we got to make sure that his apartment is scrubbed. You don't need to like take all the furniture out or anything unless there's something in the furniture that's unnatural. But otherwise, you can just, go in there and make sure that there's nothing real direct that needs to be gotten rid of.
Yeah, Doc, I mean, I still have this decoder ring and they've never asked for it back at all.
Have you thought about just burning the building instead of ruining a vacation on a Sunday?
Well, so it's kind of in the middle of the city. I mean, it's in West Philly. It's pretty obvious.
There's ways around this. Have y'all not have done self-contained fires when it comes?
What are you, the CIA? What? That's their job. We're a little more stealthy.
They're children. Those are children.
That's why I don't work for them.
Continue. Your children.
Yeah,
I think we're just trying to be subtle.
Yeah, this is supposed to be as low profile as possible. Actually, that's definitely a thing. This is an apartment building that has a whole bunch of people in it, so don't alert the locals that like you guys are in there doing anything real suspicious, okay? Like, just get in there and make it normal. You know how to do it. You've done this before.
Let's move. I have a date at 7:00. Let's go and do this.
You might want to cancel that date.
You might want to shut your mouth.
I'll be over here.
Anyone have other questions before you guys head out?
Do we have a vehicle?
I rented a car.
Okay, that's a question. Yeah. So it's up to Eliana whether or not she's going to let you hang out with people, or if you guys will have to
get in the car. I have somewhere to be.
Can I smoke in there?
No.
Damn it.
Answer.
Davenport and Peter, are you guys getting into the car with Eliana? Just letting her drive?
Yeah, she
Works
looks
for
like
me.
great taste
Come on, doctor.
I guess.
Okay.
Doctor. Agent.
Miss.
Oh, not married.
Did you say miss or myth?
Huh?
Was that miss or myth?
Miss. M-I-S-S.
Okay. I thought you were saying like, I'm not an agent, I'm a myth.
That's what I heard.
All right.
Cool.
Shotgun.
Yeah. So you guys are gonna head out. So you are in what's technically the edge of Center City. So Philadelphia is set up into little separate districts. So you guys are on the edge of Center City. You're at 29th and Market. Where they're asking you to head is an apartment that's not super far away. It'll probably take you half an hour with traffic to get there. And it's on Pine Street. So you are heading out to West Philadelphia as you come through the neighborhood. And those of you who I sent in the private chat the actual address, you are feel free to pull that up on Google Earth if you want to. It is a real place.
That's my address. No.
Hey, wait. So as you get as you start driving through, I mean, it's a Sunday. It's cold. There's been some snow, so the roads are a little bit dicey in certain places. West Philadelphia is a it's kind of sprawling urbane neighborhood. It's a little bit more. It's like a mix of apartment complexes that are like 4 or 5 stories tall, and some row homes that are also apartments. So, maybe 3-story tall row homes. A lot of green space. That's the nice thing about West Philly is that there are parks everywhere, little parks. Everybody's out walking their dogs reluctantly because it's freaking cold, but everybody's out.
I'm here for this.
There's some nice stuff out here. So when you roll up to the apartment, this particular area of Pine Street is not as well kept as all of the other areas. There's 6 identical apartments on this same block. They're all, I think, like 3 or 4 stories tall. They're gray stone buildings. Why doesn't everyone roll me? Let's see if we can do an alertness roll. So alertness is kind of like your catch-all roll, like in D&D when you're rolling for
Oh, nice.
observing things.
I got a 17 out of 60. So
Okay, that's a success.
Ooh. Failed. 42, and I only had a 20.
12, and I have a 60.
Nice. What you got for me, Peter?
I got 63 out of 20.
Okay.
Oh.
So the doctors are just fascinated by the neighborhood itself. They think that it's just a really interesting place. You guys are kind of let's see. Davenport is sort of checking out everything like, wow, this place is a place that everybody's been living on for hundreds of years. Philadelphia's been established since the 1600s. So even this far out, you are just fascinated that like, oh my God, just the idea of people living here. And I wonder what's under the ground and what could possibly be here underneath things. Dr. Shell, you're still kind of drifting around from the conference that you had before and still sort of puzzling over black holes and what may or may not happen in them.
Not to mention our SIBO going down. I'm still reeling from that.
Yes. So Samuel Knight and Eliana, my apologies, Eliana McMurdy. What you guys notice is this is a relatively populated area, but these buildings are way more decrepit than a lot of the other buildings around. This is probably the lower rent section or the start of a lower rent section. Yeah. So
This is how all Delta Green agents end up.
I hope not.
all right. McMurdy, you can find parking on the street relatively easily. It's not the nicest parking ever. You don't think that your car is going to get broken into, but it's also going to have a tough time getting back out of the ice after you've parked. So consider.
Well, I'm going to jump out of the car before she actually finishes parking because I desperately need a cigarette. To look around a little in the very near vicinity.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll start with Samuel Knight, but why don't you guys tell me how you guys are getting out of the car and observing this apartment complex? What do you want to know? What do you want to find out just from being outside? So Samuel Knight, what are you thinking?
I'm just looking for anything that is out of the ordinary. Anybody snooping or looking around down the street, down the corners, just making sure that the Delta Green agents are the only agents around.
Okay. Roll me another alertness for that.
All right. 65 out of 70. Woo. Oh, no, wait,
Ooh.
I'm sorry. My alertness is 60. So I just failed.
Just failed. All right. Yeah. So you're looking around. You're a little bit more paranoid than you probably should be.
It's been nearly 20 minutes since I've had a cigarette.
Yes. So in your jonesing for nicotine and your fancy clove cigarettes, you see that there are a lot of people walking dogs, but any one of them could be a secret agent, and you don't know. So
Even the dog.
you're a little on edge. Dr. Shell, what are you doing as you get out of the car?
I'm gonna get out and immediately hike my pants up as high as I can because I don't want like my pant cuffs getting in the slush and then like it's gonna touch my socks and my socks are gonna be wet and my feet are wet and wet feet and investigations. I don't want that. But also I noticed that Samuel is just going through his Nick fits and hey man, I got an extra patch if you want, just constant feed.
Sure, double up. Yeah, what the heck?
Oh, I don't.
Let
You
me
know what?
look.
Here you go.
And Dr. Schill gives Samuel Knight a nicotine patch, for better or worse.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, Davenport, what are you doing as you get out of the car?
Double up.
Get out of the car and strategically make sure I don't step in water or slush, and just take in the area and trying to assess if I see anything that would bring an agent to live in this area intrinsically, or if it is just sort of by happenstance. So I guess taking in the neighborhood and seeing if there's anything about it that makes it obviously like either special or different in that manner.
Okay, so I could have you roll an alertness roll again, unless you have something else that you think would apply here. So is there a different skill that you think might help you get a bonus or an advantage to doing this?
Knowing too much about the area, because I'm good at history, but I don't know anything. You know what? Let's go ahead and roll alertness for the time being. I think that's probably going to be just like the best, just if there's an initial.
Yeah, give it a shot. See if that works.
No, it did not. It did not work. That was a fail.
Okay. Yeah. So as far as you getting out, you think that everyone around here is relatively normal looking. You're an anthropologist, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did you roll me in anthropology as well, just for the what the area is like, maybe in the past or the recent history?
Okay, that was a success.
Cool. All right. So based on the anthropology that you've been at Temple University doing this thing. You may have gotten used to at least some of the Philadelphia area. This area is not really well off. It's not super wealthy, but it also has a lot of retirees in it. So this is probably an area that older people come. It's not necessarily a retirement home, but it is a place that a lot of older Philadelphians may get a relatively cheap apartment that they can live out on their pensions.
All right.
So good to know. McCurdy, what are you doing?
After she's parked the car, she's gonna wait until everybody is actually out the vehicle. Make sure the doors are locked for a second. She's gonna reach into her glove compartment, grab her. Hold, please. We're gonna go with the 357.
Okay.
We're gonna shove it into her jacket.
Now that's one of the legal firearms, right?
That's her legal one, yes.
Okay.
That's the legal one.
All I have to know is, did you bring your full complement of everything?
I brought everything.
Okay.
The rest
we will assume that you're driving.
The
All
rest
right.
is in her trunk. Oh shit. And I'm gonna take that's in the trunk. That needs to be in the trunk. But then she's gonna get out, make sure she doesn't step anything. The first thing she's gonna look for is all the buildings, entrances, any fire escapes, what lights are on in the windows, things like that. How many people are actually on the street?
Okay.
For giggles.
So that would normally be an alertness roll, unless you have a different skill that you think might come into play here. You are an agent. You are really good at doing this kind of stuff. What do you think would work?
Humor me.
Okay.
She has military science land.
Okay.
So let me roll that.
Yeah, go ahead. That'll be, like topography and, what you're talking about, entrances and exits.
She got a 51 and her thing is 60.
Nice. Okay, that's a success. Awesome.
Okay.
So, McMurdy, what you notice is this is an older apartment complex, and it's so old, in fact, that you immediately notice that there are no security cameras anywhere, which you would think would be kind of unusual in Philadelphia. But again, this is an older apartment complex. It's an older area. It makes sense. It tracks. No one would put a security system in here. This is probably, based on your information from that, this is probably an older building owned by older people. So they're not bothering with doing a whole lot of stuff. So you would anticipate that the interior would probably be not super well maintained, probably easy to pick a lock if you needed to. Likewise, if you want to check out like the entrances and exits, all of these buildings, there's like 6 of them all lined up. They all look identical. They all have one main entrance up these huge stairs, like just a big, it almost looks like a library, like not that epic, not like, the Philadelphia Museum of Art kind of stairs, but definitely like just a big bunch of stairs that lead straight up to the front door. And yeah, with that success, you also notice that there's a side door on every apartment that leads directly out to the trash area. So there's seemingly some kind of stairwell that potentially goes through the building to get up to upper levels. But other than that, just one big main entrance that you would all have to go through.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So what's your plan on getting in? This is a question to everybody, so
I
figure
look
it
at
out.
everybody and go, well, I mean, I can pick the lock pretty smoothly, but maybe can we identify which apartment it is from the outside?
Yeah. The number. So you were looking at apartment 1B, so it's on the floor. It's on the first floor. It would be inside the door, probably off to the right.
Okay. And is there like can we identify which exterior, like is there a balcony or fire escape that would go to that? Can we match it up? Outside window or anything like that?
Oh. It's on the first floor, right?
Yeah, it's on the first floor. But it would still potentially have access to that stairwell.
Oh, yeah, I'm just gonna lay out. Okay.
Interesting. Cool. Roll me a criminology.
Criminology.
Because that's something that a potential perp would do. Would be breaking into the side of the building.
Because I got a 60 in that. So let's go. Let's roll at 87. Yeah.
So no, you would know. Breaking into the building is going to look real suspicious right now because it's like 3:00 in the. Well, it's 4. We'll say it's 4:00 in the afternoon on a Sunday. There's still a lot of people outside. Your best bet is to just try to go in the front entrance.
I'm just gonna say this, guys. There's like no security cameras on this building, and it looks old. So I'm just gonna go with there's probably no security cameras on the inside. So if we just want to walk in like regular Joes.
Yeah, we could probably just credit card this door, honestly.
And then just jimmy it open and call it a day.
I'll just be like, oh, my key doesn't work with that. Well, I use the lock picks and be like, oh, my key doesn't work. But like,
the building looks pretty old. I'm pretty sure you'll just be able to push it open.
And bystander effect dictates no one would even stop to do anything anyway.
Right.
So.
Boom.
All right. Well, I think I have the highest lock picks. So.
Look.
Okay.
Like, Eliana's just like, yep. I'm just gonna
Okay. So as you approach, Eliana's putting on her gloves. So as you approach the entrance, you see someone coming out of the adjacent building. It's an older woman in her 60s, and she looks right at you.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. How are you, dear? I haven't seen you here before.
I'm actually coming to visit my uncle.
Oh, what apartment does he live in?
I think he might be. I don't know. He might be on the 3rd floor or something. I don't know. His handwriting's terrible. It's terrible. He's older.
While Eliana is interacting with this person, is anybody else doing anything?
Oh,
I'll just continue unlocking the door if that's cool. I'll just try to like hide it more that I'm actually picking the lock.
Yeah. Samuel, you can make it into the first part. So basically the way this building is set up is there's like a main door and then there's like a vestibule where people would come in and do the mail. And then beyond that door is where the actual apartments are.
Okay,
So you've made it through the front door. Eliana's still out front. Davenport, what are you doing while this interaction is going on?
I think I'm watching it very closely to take a lead if I can be helpful. She clearly has a narrative she has chosen, and I just want to be supportive of it, but I also don't want to like overshoot and muck it up. So I'm just like nodding agreeably while I just assess the surroundings. This is what I can do best right now.
Very cool. Dr. Shell, what do you think you're doing?
I am trying to be non-threatening and invisible and melt into the wall and hoping that I don't have to interact in this scenario because I'll just make it awkward.
Okay, so we'll say that Dr. Shell has also moved in through the first door with Samuel Knight. So it's just Davenport and McBurdy hanging out with this lady. Cool. Let's see what happens. We'll start with the outside crew. So, McMurdy, why don't you? What's like a bluff check in this?
I have persuade.
Yes, that's it. That's persuade. That's what bluff checks are in this system. So, yeah, why don't you roll me a persuade for against this person?
I rolled 11 and I have a 40.
That's a critical success! Yay! Nice. So, yeah. Oh, this person is totally buying it, and so much so that she's very excited to meet you. And she wants to talk to you further. And she says, "Oh, I'm so happy that new people are coming over. You know, I felt so bad about that poor Mr. Bowman having to pass away. We saw the ambulance when he came out. Oh, it was so awful. I can't even tell you."
Tell me more. Like, what happened? Was it sudden? Like, was it? I really hope. What floor is he on? I hope he's not like giving my poor uncle a scare.
Oh no! He's on the first floor, honey. Don't worry about it. And that was oh gosh, yesterday. That was such a terrible time. I feel so bad for it. Everybody was watching. And you notice that she's got a little dog that keeps sort of like tugging a bit. And she's like, no, hush, Mitzi. Just give me a minute here. Yeah, what do you want to talk to her about?
So what was this? Was it sudden? Was he ill? Was he what I'm sorry, I'm super rude. This is my brother, Marcus.
Yes. Pleasure.
And I am Maria.
Oh,
and
lovely to meet you.
Thank you. And yeah, but tell me, was he sick? Was it sudden? Did he have family nearby that could have checked in on him?
Well, I'm Mrs. Janowitz, and I live in the apartment next door. And I love to walk my Mitzi as much as possible. And I just happened to be outside at the time when the ambulance came by. Oh, it was such a dreadful thing. I didn't see Mr. Bowman all that often. He seemed like a very nice gentleman, but he mostly kept to himself. He would come home and just sort of, he would wave to me sometimes, but he seemed very, very quiet, very peaceful, never made an issue, never had a dog, which seems so strange because everybody in this neighborhood has dogs. But
yes.
It was a real shame that poor Mr. Bowman wasn't found for a while. You know, I heard that something happened, and when he passed away, that I guess no one heard. So it was a few hours before anyone came by.
Oh,
such a terrible thing.
So how did they find him then? If they,
yes, a few hours before someone came by. You said he kept to himself.
Yes. Well, I think what may have happened was, well, once you get to my age, you sort of expect the things to happen. I think it was the smell, that there was some kind of smell coming from his apartment. And you know, we like to keep to ourselves here, and we try to keep things clean, but once you know what that smell is, you know.
Yes.
I walked in one time before Mitzi, of course. There was little Devon, and Devon was such a sweet puppy. But one time she just had a heart attack, and I walked in, and you knew what had happened as soon as I got home from the grocery store. It was just poor Devon. I felt so bad.
Do you know who called 911 or who notified authorities about the body?
Oh, I don't recall, by the time I got out here, there was just the ambulance, and I mean, they wouldn't even let me close to see the body itself. I just, somebody in a sheet or a bag or something. I by the time I got to the ambulance, they were already loading everything in and seemed to be kind of wrapping up. I just overheard the bit about him not being found for a little while.
Oh, oh dear, that's unfortunate. Well, I hope that didn't stress you too much. And little Mitzi.
Oh no, of course. Oh, thank you. Anybody want to try to pet the dog?
I'm going to gently offer my gloved hand in.
Mitzi sniffs you and then becomes disinterested. She's some kind of poodle mix, and she doesn't.
Oh, okay.
But at least she didn't bark, so good job.
Yeah, yay! Well, thank you for speaking with us.
Yes.
To probably head on in.
Just inside.
Yeah, to go and check on my uncle and take care. Enjoy your walk. And maybe if I see you on the way out, we'll do tea later before I head back home out west.
Oh, that is so sweet. How nice. All right. Well, you two have a nice day. While all of that is going on, Peter Shell and Samuel Knight, nice job, by the way. That was good. Rocking that persuade at a critical success. Samuel Knight, Peter Shell, Sam, you are trying to break in. What do you think is going to affect that the best?
Well, I mean, I'm just going to try to pick that lock as well. It's just a regular door?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is like, you've gotten in through the first door into where all the mailboxes are. Now you're trying to get into the main door. And then
even yet to his actual door.
Yeah, and then there's one further door yet to actually getting into his apartment.
Oh, hey, Peter, Dr. Peter. Yeah. What do you want me to call you?
Peter's fine. Yeah.
Peter, you any good with a gun? Revolver. I mean, simple. You just chop. It's double action. You just pop.
Yeah, no, like I can use them, but I'm not like, I don't know, like taking them apart and cleaning them and stuff. And I can point one at you. Yeah.
I just look. If I'm busy picking this lock, I can't get my gun if I'm picked. So why don't you just hold on to my pistol?
You read to hold it, okay?
And then if anything bad happens, you just.
Okay. Which one's this is the safety? Is this one?
Yeah, it's a revolver.
Peter is very confused, but fine.
You just point it at the thing you'd like it to blow away.
Okay, what do I do with it? Tuck it into my
thing, and it should blow it away.
Okay, I'm gonna tuck it in my pants so that it's not just like everyone can see it, but the safety's on, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. I'll hang on to this for you and give it back to you as soon as you're done.
Doc, try to act normal.
I could pick the lock and you could hold the gun. I have very nimble fingers.
You want to give it a try? You got all right?
Peter, out of curiosity, what's your firearm skill?
Mine or her?
No, her. The Dr. Peter.
20%.
Base value. Okay.
Yeah.
1 out of 5.
But I have nimble fingers, whatever that means, and my dexterity. Is there an actual lock pick?
Yeah. Well, I have it. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's a special thing, is actually being able to pick locks.
It's fine. I got this. You can do it. You do it. I trust you. I'll hold this.
So Peter awkwardly holds the gun, trying not to just kind of, at least has figured out enough to point it down at the floor without actually strafing.
So the bullet's coming out of that end, and you don't want to point it. And then, all right.
Samuel Knight, what are you? Do you have a lockpick skill?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
To pick the lock. Roll to pick the first lock.
50% chance, give or take, if this lock is crappy. All right. So here you go. For first. Well, son of a bitch.
Did you fail it?
How about a nice 66 there?
Oh, critical fail. Okay.
The gun goes up.
Not even in your hands.
Not even in your hands.
Peter's like,
What if I just give you the gun back and I'll just take the whole knob off.
Well, okay, so how I'm going to play that is, yeah. So, Samuel, you didn't open the lock.
No.
You just picked it so hard that the whole kind of lock mechanism slides through to the other edge of the door, and it's on the other side. So, yeah, you can get the door open now, but you've kind of destroyed the door.
No, I call that success.
But you can get in.
And hey, I've unlocked it for our fellow agents behind us. Forever.
Yeah. So we'll try to deal with that, I guess, once you guys have investigated the apartment. But that was
Can
fun.
I just pick up the piece of lock and just kind of shove it, try to wedge it back in so that it looks like
Give me
it's
my gun
still...
back first. Hang on.
Okay, take the
All right.
piece. Yeah.
You've got your nimble finger skill. So yeah, why don't you try and just jimmy the lock kind of back into the door, at least so it sort of looks like it should still be there.
Yeah. Oh God. I got a 93.
Oh Lord. Nope. You try to shim it into place, and nope, just falls back through the other side of the door now. So it's on the floor.
Let's just go. Let's just move on. Next one.
Cool.
I kicked it to the other side of the room so it's nowhere near, so that there's like no evidence that this just happened. So
Okay.
Just kick it. Like,
Cool. All right. So yeah, you guys you get through that door. That happened. Now we're into the hallway of the apartment. So, taking a look around of just the outside, there are 4 doors on this floor, and then a big staircase that leads up to subsequent floors. You are looking at apartment 1B, which is on your right-hand side, and it also has a locked door. So, you want to try that again?
maybe we should wait for everybody else.
Okay. Yeah, I would say Davenport and McMurdy, you guys have officially wrapped up with Mrs. Gianna
Bye-bye.
Witt. So, yep. So she's off, and you guys have all made it into the hallway. Now you are standing in front of the door. It looks
what
like
the hell happened to the lock?
I'm like, we leave them alone for 5 seconds, and they break the door.
Security's real low here.
Just go in. Let's just go in. I'm gonna shut the door. Let's just move. Just move.
The building's been here for like at least 100 years and was just fine until it met the two of you.
Why we can't have nice things? Okay, let's move on. Let's do this. I have a booty call at 7. Let's move.
Oh,
Davenport's
it's a
upset
booty
now.
call now. It was a date earlier. I like
No, I was
the
trying to
slow
keep it-
decline into honesty we're experiencing as a group right now. That's nice. I'm very certain before too long you won't tell us it's just a John. Never mind. All right, let's go.
Eliana.
First of all,
Whoa. All right.
what?
I was just going to ask you if you're any better at guns than the good doctor here.
I've never handled. Oh, that good doctor. My apologies. Hi.
We got a lot of doctors here. 50%.
Yeah.
2 doctors.
I'm all right. What do you need?
I just want somebody to look while keep watch while I try to open this door.
Okay, don't break any more doors. All right. So she's just gonna post up and wait by the door that's now broken.
Some crazy dog jumps out at me or something.
Texting on her phone.
I'll be like, oh, and then I have to like get my gun out and then.
Look, just go do it. I have this to play. People would do.
Eliana posts up on the door like the expert that she is.
Oh,
and, is not only like guarding Samuel Knight as he tries to pick the lock, but is also looking up the stairs to make sure that no one's coming down either way.
That's what I'm talking
Why don't you roll me an alertness, Eliana? Let's see
Okay.
what's going on with that.
Whereas I'm trusting this electronic dice thing.
I like electronic dice better, honestly.
Okay, so I got a 60 out of 60. Thank you.
Nice. There you go. So exactly a success. It's a Sunday. Sounds pretty quiet in here, especially with all the snow outside. It's dampening a lot of the sound. But based on your expertise, you know that there's no one coming down anytime.
Oh wait, did you hand me your gun?
No, you have a gun, right?
Yeah.
I don't know I have a gun. But did you pass me your gun?
I asked you if you were good with guns.
I said I was okay.
Do you have a gun?
Your gun. Do I have a gun?
Yes.
No.
Do you know how to handle a revolver?
Sure.
Fine. Here.
Now I have 2 guns.
Point the gun. Not the people that you don't want blown away.
Okay,
All right.
point dangerous and that way. Got it. Let's do this.
So she's doing fine. So Knight, let's see if you can actually get this lock without breaking the door.
I rolled a 3, so
Nice. Okay. There you
He's
go.
warmed up now.
I just need everybody to be looking at me. I see. I can't.
So yeah, the apartment door opens without an incident, and it
Great.
creaks open. You are standing in an apartment.
Gun, please. Gun, please.
Oh, here you go.
Thanks.
Cool. So, the home is pretty sparsely furnished. You guys are walking into the living room. There's a well-worn couch that faces an archaic squat television that carries basic cable only. On the adjacent coffee table are a stack of mostly completed crossword puzzles, issues of Sports Illustrated, sometimes the swimsuit issue, and Reader's Digest, and a box of unhealthy artificial donuts that are all the powdered sugar kind, and they are crumbling and dry and kind of gross. Anybody want to take a look?
A day old, though, right?
Well, you don't know how long ago that he purchased these donuts, but he hasn't touched them in a day. Yeah. Who? Everybody want to look around, see if you find anything?
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, roll a. This is a search roll, so this is not alertness. This is search.
Oh, Jesus.
This is my expertise. I was born for this role.
All right. Who succeeded?
Another 3.
Nice.
Oh, I did not succeed.
Oh my God. I got an 11 and I have 20%. So
I got a 9 on 20%.
Nice.
thank you.
Awesome. Okay. So, yeah, most of you guys have succeeded, which is great. Eliana gets the extra bonus of critical success, which is nice. Yeah. So what you guys notice is pretty sparsely furnished. There is an old wedding picture that's up on it's not a mantle, it's just a bookshelf, and it has some books in it. Nothing Delta Green, thankfully. This is like old books that are just, like books about submarines and books about like murder mysteries, silly things, like nothing of substance other than just, oh, this is interesting to me and I like it. And then, yeah, also the Reader's Digest, the Sports Illustrated, that kind of stuff. The picture on the top of the bookshelf is clearly old, probably about 20 years old. And it is a couple standing next to each other. Looks like at some kind of a party or based on how fancy they look, probably some kind of wedding. Not theirs, somebody else's. And it's a man and a woman. Based on this context, you would assume that the guy is, based on his age, probably Clyde. And he is an older white guy. In that picture, he would have been in his 40s, maybe 50s. It's hard to tell. He's got a lot of wrinkles even then. So that kind of rode hard, put away wet sort of look. And he, standing next to somebody. Eliana, based on your role, you can tell that they're both wearing wedding rings. So you would assume that this was his spouse.
Okay.
Okay, couple of options now. There are a bunch of other rooms that you can check out. This is a 2-bedroom apartment. So there is, as you walk into the living room, you see down the hallway, it's kind of shotgun-y styled. So straight down the hallway, there are rooms leading off to basically the right, because you're on the right side of the building. So everything goes off that way. The hallway would be kind of adjacent to the outside hallway. Yeah, so do you all want to move together? Do you all want to check out separate things? Who's going where?
And we didn't detect any Delta Green anything in that main room.
In this room, no. It's really, really sparsely furnished. There's not even like, just it's relatively clean, which is nice. It's not full of like just trash everywhere. Other than the donuts that are sitting out, it's not like there's just plates of food everywhere. This guy wasn't a slob. But yeah, if you really wanted to look through all of the books, you can just flip through them real quick, but there's no like weird notes like what Davenport had found. There's no weird, nothing strange.
I do want to just peek behind the picture of him and his wife.
Okay, how so? Like, you want to just look behind it and pick it up, or do you want to like take the back off?
Yeah, I just want to like take it off the wall, look at the back of it, and make sure nothing falls out or anything.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop you right there. You got gloves? Yeah, I'm gonna just pick it up for Peter, so he can look at the back of it.
Okay. Yeah. You guys could.
Where's his wife, I wonder?
It's one of those picture frames that has the little like toggles on the sides that you can undo to pull the back off.
Yeah, maybe pop that thing open, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I'm
not
gonna
super big.
pop it
Yeah.
open. Open it.
It's an 8x10. Somebody must have printed out for them. And on the back, in a woman's handwriting, says Jenny's wedding 2002.
Yeah. I wonder where the wife is if he was living by himself.
Good question.
Do we know anything? They didn't tell us at the post office if he was divorced, she was deceased,
Or married at all, I don't think they ever said.
You could try to ask the handler about that, but I don't know that Carisi would have that knowledge. That might be something you either figure out now, or you could try. I mean, one of the nice things about this being in a real life universe is that you can Google it on your phone if you really want to try it, but no guarantees that that's going to be the kind of information that you get. That's a public search. People that have better things like Samuel Knight, you could potentially do some research and find out just based on your case files or your connections to different organizations. You might be able to find out more information if you want to go that route. Not necessary. I'd say look through the rest of the apartment first and see what you find.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's look through the apartment, and if we find a big bed with lots of clothing for everybody, then maybe they're still together, and if not, there might be some clues that it's only one person living here. So, but what do you say we split up, and might be able to and scream real loud if anything bad happens. So.
Fun. All right, so there are. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. There are 4 rooms. So if everybody wants to take a room, you can. There's a kitchen, a bathroom, a master bedroom, and an office, which is technically the second bedroom. So who wants to go where? And you can go in pairs. You can go by yourselves, whatever you want.
Maybe pairs. What do you think?
Pick your room.
Whatever you want to do. Who wants to partner with who?
I'll start in the office if anyone wants to come with me.
Well, I'll go.
There you go.
Okay, so you two are heading down to the office. Peter and Eliana. God, I can't do names today. Where do you guys want to be?
The master bedroom.
Okay.
Sure, let's hit the bedroom.
Cool. Yeah, so you guys sort of make your way down the hallway. And there, the kitchen is somewhat connected to the living room, but it's often in like its own separate area, so you can just bypass it. It doesn't have its separate door. The other rooms do have doors. Mm-hmm. So the office is all the way down at the end of the hallway. That's the second bedroom. So that's who was looking for that. That was Davenport and Knight. Cool. Okay. So you guys get into the office. Bowman had used this as a second bedroom as an office or storage. There's an ancient computer in it, one of those huge desktop models. It's like real big. Mm-hmm. There are some filing cabinets. Yeah. Why don't you guys do a search and see what you find?
All right. How about a 20 out of, I think, 80? Yeah.
Okay.
And
success.
And a 20 out of 40. Nice.
Okay. 2 successes. Cool. Yeah, this is definitely very utilitarian. It's very sparse. There's no decorations or anything. It is meticulously organized. And a cursory examination into the filing cabinet shows that there are lots and lots of things inside of it that are... you'd have to take a look to figure out whether or not any of this stuff is Delta Green. Does Do either of you have accounting as a skill?
I do. Well, no, I just have the basic 10%.
Okay.
Yeah, same here.
Does anyone on the team have accounting as a skill?
Right.
The other
You do?
doctor, a
Of
good
course.
doctor.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So, having Peter take a look at all of this paperwork later, you could probably box it up. You could have Peter take a look at it, and it would take a couple of hours for him to go through everything, but he could pretty easily figure out what stuff might be Delta Green adjacent, like things like weird expenditures that don't make a whole lot of sense for business trips this guy may or may not have taken, or some other random stuff, just things that wouldn't make sense in a normal life for this dude.
Eliana, what kind of car did you rent? Because I think we're going to need to put a bunch of stuff in it.
Well, let's see. The car that I rented, I would know, and you would know because we all rode in it here.
Was it a minivan? Was it a
So it's going to be
4-door?
a Camry.
A Toyota Camry?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Not a whole lot of trunk space in that, but a very low profile
I
car.
can fit 6 bodies in that sucker. That's because I stuck mannequins in there, so I know it can fit bodies in there.
Okay.
Personal
It's got a
experience.
trunk. It's got a trunk. We can do it. All right.
I
Got a
couldn't
trunk with some suspicious stuff in it already, but yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Peter. How good are you at accounting? Because
Pretty good. Pretty good.
yeah, we got some paperwork here, and man, I hate paperwork. So
Yeah, I can take a look at it.
right. Yeah. Is there? Oh, so the computer. Hey, Doctor Davenport. I'm not really tippity tappity on the computer there. You got computer skills? Maybe do we even need to break into this computer, or do we just throw the computer in the car?
It's up to you guys how long you want to spend time here. If you take the computer out, that's going to look real suspicious to the neighbors. The paperwork, probably not so much. It's going to look like people are just taking things from another place. But like a whole computer is going to look real weird, especially one this old. So
Possessions happen all the time. And, anything of value. We could just be an official, agency. You know what I'm saying? If we get caught.
And a
We could
safe
take
sale
the
liquidation.
computer.
Sure, we'll go with that.
I mean, you can. I will say with Eliana and Davenport's cover story, it's going to be a little weird for you guys to be like, I went into my uncle's apartment and then I decided to steal his computer. It was great.
They could walk out separately
Technically,
from
we're
us.
not in our uncle's apartment.
No,
He is
it's true.
on the third floor.
Third floor.
Well,
Or maybe throwing it away for your
why
uncle.
don't you guys just try to see if you can turn it on? I mean, it's an ancient computer, but it might still work.
It's all you, Doctor.
Oh well, if it should be me, it shouldn't because I have 0% computer science. But
I could actually
I
maybe-
can. I was to say, Doctor, would you like to turn this on? I deal with older things.
Right. I could just actually maybe wipe it faster than searching it or us taking it out.
Should the doctor switch spots? I seem to be not helpful in the study.
I
I
feel like
chose the office because I thought some sort of history and looking through, but I don't account for anything, and computers that's foreign to me because
Okay. Well, you guys completed you guys completed the search. So Davenport, I'll move you in with McMurdy in a second. But
I
Peter,
go out of the room. I just shout, "Other doctor!"
And you pass her in the hall, please say, Doctor.
Doctor.
So Peter, you come on in the room. Give me an accounting roll. Actually, let's see how that goes.
I got 40 under 50.
Nice. Okay. So, looking, just sort of parsing through the files, it'll take you about 3 or 4 hours to get through all of this. But thankfully, you know that the bottom 2 drawers of this 3-drawer filing cabinet are just, based on a cursory glance, are just like financial records. Just something real simple. this is not going to be where you're going to find the thing that you may or may not have to get rid of. The upper drawer seems to be different than some of the other stuff. And what you are finding with that 30% is there are records here of a cabin, which aren't mentioned in the rest of the financial documents that you saw lower. You're not sure if that means anything important, but it's certainly a vector that you guys might have to check out and close. That there's another location is going to be something you may or may not have to take a look into.
We have the address of the cabin and everything from this paperwork.
Yeah, based on the stuff in the upper cabinet only. You see records of some financial information based on buying the cabin, but it's compared to how meticulous the other two drawers kind of seem to be. It's weird that this seems to has gaps. Like some of these notes are handwritten about how much that person owed on the cabin, or that Bowman owed on the cabin. Some of them are a little, like you would say they were kind of sketchy. Like maybe this wasn't a true real estate deal. Like the other stuff in the lower cabinets, you see that at one time this guy owned a house, which he did sell at some point, probably 15 years ago, and then moved into this apartment. There's the lease for this apartment and how long it's been leased. There's some old checkbooks of an account. Actually, interestingly enough, roll me in accounting one more time.
20 under 50.
Nice. There's a second name on the bank account. It's Marlene, listed as Marlene. But that only appears on anything about 15 years back. After that, so after 2008, 2009-ish, that Marlene is no longer listed on the account.
Okay. Guessing Marlene's the wife.
Wasn't that the name on the picture?
It said Jenny's
No,
wedding.
Jenny's wedding, yeah. Just said Jenny's wedding, yeah.
And there are no names on the handwritten transactions for the cabin?
No.
Okay. Can I take a look at the computer and maybe just try to just wreck it? Like, not physically, but make it so that the data is not retrievable. That anything Delta Green could just be vanished, because everything will be.
Maybe go into the computer and just check and see if there's any information we might need, especially if there's some sort of random cabin. Just real quick.
Yeah, you are welcome to take a look at the computer. You have computer science?
Yeah.
Okay, roll that for me.
7. No, wait, 7.
7 total.
7 total. Under 40.
Okay. Nice. Oh yeah, definitely. You are able to turn this computer on. It's ancient and it takes a while to boot up because it's old. Yeah, it's like an old plane. You just crank it. It takes a while to open. There's no password because this dude was a Luddite. He had no idea how to lock anything. And also, this computer is ancient. I don't even know if it has a lock screen.
If I had more time, I'd like to play the snake game on it, but we don't really have time.
Yes.
It actually has a physical lock on the computer.
So you pull up the main screen and this guy had an email address that he seemingly rarely checked. It mostly consists of, spam mail, junk mail. You go back through some of the emails and you do find some listings from, oh gosh, no, of course I can't remember the person's name. Well, it says dad. There'll be like emails that'll say like dad on them. and yeah. Other than that, not much else. Those emails from a child potentially do not necessarily have. They're okay for a while. Earlier emails, like you can go all the way back. You can do a search on his email history and all the way back into like 2008, 2007. It's a lot of like, I'm sorry that mom's gone, but you have to keep moving on. You got to get out there and live your life. We miss you, that kind of stuff. And then that slowly drops off more and more the further you go into the emails. There are emails, at least in his sent file, from as recently as a couple of weeks ago. But they're all in the sent file. None of them are replies.
Who are the sent files to? All to the kid?
Yes, and I'm trying to find this person's name right now, which is just annoying. I thought it was like Samantha, but that's somebody else's kid.
That's my kid.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's somebody else's child.
Yay! What's that guy trying to pull?
Stay away from my kid.
Yeah, so there's earlier on there's some back and forth, and then after a while it just trails off until it's just him sending messages to a daughter. Yeah, but after a while there's no response.
Huh, sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
I'm gonna find that name eventually. So just
And nothing juicy as far as Delta Green goes on this computer.
as far as you can tell, because he was such a Luddite, because he really didn't know how to use stuff. Yeah, if he was going to make notes about Delta Green, they wouldn't be on a computer. They'd be somewhere else.
Okay.
Hey, doctor, instead of reading all those emails, what if you forwarded them to like yourself? You can forward all those emails to you, and then
How about I forward them to you?
Because
Yeah.
My phone it's like practically full, so But yeah, okay, fine, sure. Send them.
Yeah.
Just send them to me,
Yeah. All right.
and then we can delete the computer.
I don't even think we need to, honestly.
Yeah, based on your success, you would assume that the kids don't care what's on this computer. B, even if they did care, this is an ancient computer. They're gonna trash this thing as soon as they get in. Like the fact that these kids don't even respond to his emails anymore pretty much means that he doesn't. Yeah, there is a reason he doesn't matter to them, but you don't know what that is.
Damn, that's cold. Well, I'm just saying if we maybe it'll help if there's any information, we at least have the information on us. But
Right.
Great. So just forward every single email he's got in his damn file.
That's going to take you some time, but that's okay.
Yeah.
While all of this is going on, why don't we move back to Davenport and McMurdy, who are checking out. You guys are checking out the bedroom, right?
Yes.
The bedroom.
Yeah,
Okay.
I switched with Dr. Shell because I'm clearly more of a bedroom doctor than I am an office.
Doctor.
Okay. Cool.
So first, I'm going to look between the mattresses and look between there and just check any possible places you can stash or hide things. The less obvious place to look first. I'm trying to,
Nice.
slide some.
And I wanna go to a closet space, whatever. If we've got a closet in here, that's
Okay. Yeah. Roll me. You can both roll me a search. Yeah, there is a closet. It's not super big.
Here's hoping.
yes, a success. 30 out of 40.
Oh my God, 7 out of 20.
Yes, look through those
Awesome.
mattresses.
Okay. Yeah. So McBurdy, you're checking out. It's a queen size bed. It's still being made. These sheets have probably not been changed in quite a while. They're sort of gross, but that's probably just like it's a dude living by himself. That's what you would guess.
Thank God
Nothing.
it works.
Yeah, nothing odd or untoward is in the bed sheets or anything. There's no secret compartments. There's no money hidden between the mattress. There's nothing real weird.
Most people do. I gotta check.
Yeah, absolutely. So you check absolutely everything. You go through all the pillows and the pillow shams. What you can tell is this clearly was something somebody bought this that was probably not a single guy. Somebody, like, there's lace unlike the pillow shams. There's the bedspread is
ruffle.
Yeah, the bedspread has like a faded sort of yellow like buttercup kind of print to it.
Okay.
So this is something that's a little bit more femme than you would assume a dude living on his own would have. And it's old. Like he's probably had this for a long time.
Okay.
Davenport, you look through the closet. It's a lot of some old suits, lots of old like pairs of sweatpants that are hung up because I guess he likes to hang his sweatpants. Some team sweatshirts, like there's a Philadelphia Eagles sweatshirt in there that looks well loved, that has some old mustard stains on the top of it that probably never came out. And then way at the back of the closet, you do find a couple of women's dresses. They clearly haven't been worn in a really long time. They're very out of style. Probably like mid 2000s, big floral print kind of stuff. Something that you would assume would be like a mother of the bride kind of dress. Nothing else seemingly, and there's only like 5 of them. So not a whole wardrobe, just a couple.
Do any of those dresses match the one of the woman in the photograph?
One of them does, actually. Yeah, that's exactly the dress that person was wearing in the photo that was labeled Jenny's wedding.
Is there like what else is in there? Is there like a dresser, any type of like side table, nightstand?
Yeah. So there's a nightstand that has like a murder mystery kind of novel on the top, dog-eared. It's clearly been read for a while. On top of that is like an old lamp that clearly he dusts, but it's like, it's yellowed with age at this point. So meticulous, but ancient stuff. And next to that is a ceramic paperweight of a child's handprint with the name Cassie, age 4, crudely painted on it.
Well, I'm going to go through that nightstand.
Okay.
Sure, and see, look at all the stuff on there and see what I can discern and if there's anything in there.
Sure. You find a box of tissues, some empty medication vials, earplugs.
What kind of meds? What is it? What's does it still have the labels on it?
Yes. Do you have any kind of medicine skill?
No. I'm just gonna take the bottles then for later.
Okay, yeah, you can totally take them for later. Yeah, you have it's like 3 different empty vials. They're all different things. They were all prescribed this year, so you can see that there's an expiration date that was in the 2020s. But other than that, nothing else. Looks pretty empty. Davenport, to the left of the closet, there is a dresser, which you're welcome to go through. But on top of that, you see a couple more pictures. So there's a couple of photos of Clyde with presumably his wife, Marlene. There's some even older, like in the 90s, high school graduation pictures of I think he has 2 daughters. I still can't find these people's names, but it's 2 different girls, and it has like the listed ages listed year. I think one of them's like 96, one of them's like 99. There's a one photo that stands out that is the most recent looking, but still kind of old. It's Clyde holding a baby, and it's like this clearly was like a baby that was just born. Like,
Okay.
so based on context clues, you would assume that this would have been a couple of years back with this Cassie. And it's just him just lovingly holding this baby, probably birthday, like right after the kid was born.
Okay. May I search the dresser, please? Taking note of all of that.
Yeah. Roll me one more search roll for that.
Now, that is a fail. That is a 68, and I only have a 40.
Okay. Yeah. Not much else. I mean, it's like a drawer full of underwear. You may or may not find some things that he may or may not have liked to do on his own. But other than that, yeah, just underwear, t-shirts, couple of pairs of pants that were not, I guess, his favorite sweatpants that he liked to have hung up for whatever reason. But yeah, nothing unusual. Everything's probably bought within the last 10 years, but nothing looks new. It looks like he just wears his stuff until he dies.
Upon not like really like striking out because we've found stuff, but finding nothing of Delta Green thus far, and being in where we've been, I turned to Eliana and I'm just like, for an organization that was so convinced and just presuming we'd find a lot and we were sent here to destroy stuff, all I'm seeing is this man was sad and lived alone. And if that's what I wanted to find, I could have stayed at home and looked in a mirror.
I mean, this is old stuff. I found some medication bottles that are fairly new from this year, but I don't know. Unless
he has a proclivity for dressing up in women's dresses, he's just holding on to lost things.
This is sad. Like, I could go watch Hallmark for this.
All right. I need to use the restroom real quick, but you guys are welcome to pick this. The kitchen and the bathroom are the last two rooms that you guys need to check out. So take your pick as to who's going where.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
We'll take the bathroom.
Okay. We'll go. Want to go to the kitchen?
I'll take the kitchen. There's sharp.
All right. I will. Since she's gone, I will also take this minute to go to the restroom.
I'm going to take a quick bio break. Let me mute myself.
Can't hear you, Colin. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
I was muted. Yes, let's just we'll take. I have it marked where the time is, so we'll just take a break right here. Mm-hmm. We'll cut this right out. I'm getting some water.
Ooh, everyone took a break. Nice. Well, my husband decided to go get a cigar, I guess, so he's hiding. Take a second to eat my cold lunch. Enjoy. No, it's not that. I wish I could find stuff about food.
Everybody copied off of you.
I was just like, I need to take a break for a second. I've been drinking too much coffee.
That's all right. I say we just cut this right out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. Of course, this is going to be one of those things where I look at it later and I'm like, oh, his kids' names were X and X, and I don't know why I can't find it, but whatever.
Don't worry, you're doing great.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm having super fun. I wasn't sure about doing realism versus fantasy, but I think this is great.
Yay. Oh, okay, there it is. Jeez, it's like the last freaking page. He has a daughter named Sharon and a son named Michael. There we go. So you guys would know that. He has a daughter named Sharon and a son named Michael.
Are all the emails from Sharon?
Yes, whoever you wanted to have.
Yeah. All of the emails are from Sharon. Or were to Sharon. It looks like Michael probably dropped off contact even earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And Sharon is seemingly the mother of Cassie.
Oh.
I knew this was in here. I just was like, where is it? Where is it? And finally freaking found it. Way at the end.
So we'll go ahead and go. So it was 126. So we currently actually only had a 5-minute break, which means. So we'll go a little bit longer than the 2 hours, and then we'll look for a spot then.
Yeah, no, you guys are approaching a spot. I just need to get you there, and then we can take like an actual break.
Yep.
But you're close.
Sorry, I got attacked by my children.
Aww, babies.
Ugh.
Sorry.
I was being told about the Christmas tree
Uh,
and how it's wonderful. Okay.
All right.
That old urban myth, the Christmas tree.
All right.
So sorry about. I finally figured out the information that I needed to tell you, which is something that Peter would have figured out. That he had 2 kids, Sharon and Michael, and seemingly it is Sharon who has the kid Cassie, and that's my dog running in the background. Which means my husband just came inside. Yeah. So all of the emails that Dr. Peter was finding were to Sharon. There are some that were to or from Michael, but they drop off even earlier. All of the last couple of emails, even up until a few months ago, are to Sharon. But there's never any response. Neat. All right. So you have 2 more rooms that you can search. Who's going where?
I want to go in the kitchen.
Okay.
Wait. Oh.
The kitchen and bathroom.
Wait, I thought y'all were taking the bathroom. I got confused.
No. Me and someone else take the bathroom.
We're going to
the kitchen.
the kitchen.
All right. Me and this doctor. I'll take this doctor.
Okay. So Samuel Knight and Peter Shell, you guys are going in the kitchen?
Yes.
Okay. You 2 are going in the kitchen, which means that McMurdy and Davenport, you guys are going in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know about you, doctor, but those donuts have been calling my name for an hour, and yeah.
You're just itching to eat a dead guy's food.
Yeah, so you just could eat a dead man's donuts. Roll sand. Not
Just
kidding.
because it's he could have easily been alive and given those donuts to someone. Would they still be a dead man's food?
No matter what, I don't know if I would consider them food.
Look, I'm pretty sure that these are the cheapest donuts money can buy, and they're good for like 1,000 years. So just because they've been sitting out on the table for a couple of days, I don't think it makes a difference.
Shouldn't you be concerned about food that's preservable for 1,000 years? I'm just gonna throw that out there. But okay.
All right. You guys ready?
Yes.
Cool. Let's do the bathroom first. All right. So Davenport and McMurdy, you guys head into the bathroom. To the left of the bathroom is a linen closet. There's nothing in there, like a couple of towels. They're all white. They're old.
That's a choice. Okay.
Yep, just nothing but white towels.
That is a choice.
And you head into the bathroom, and what you see is it's in a very disturbed state. There's a broken towel rack on the floor, a cracked shower door, like it had one of those glass showers, and it looks like it got kind of cracked. There's a couple of fragments of a broken ceramic toothbrush holder. And it looks like all of the space in the center is sort of cleared out. And fun enough, there's the persistent faint traces of Bowman's corpse. This is where he died.
Well, looks like we found where they found him.
Yes, and either his death was right after a very aggressive bowel movement, or there was a struggle, because this is a lot.
I'm going to look out the layout of the scene, see if I can determine, was it more than one person in here? Was it whatever?
Yeah. Do either of you have forensics or criminology?
We are the wrong people in here.
I mean, I've got nothing for forensics, and I have just that basic 10 for criminology. We keep going into the wrong room.
Okay,
No,
it's okay. If you want to call Samuel Knight over, he can help you out.
I think this room is for you guys. Can we trade?
All right, but I'm bringing the donuts.
What you do in the bathroom is between you and God.
Exactly.
It's one of those like little boxes of donuts, right? Just a little
window on the top, and
just real quick though, I just checked the expiration date. Is it anywhere close?
These are probably like 2 weeks old.
They're super good.
Yeah.
I just put it in my jacket.
I'm gonna
the whole freaking box of donuts.
As we're leaving the kitchen, I just want to look longingly at the refrigerator, but I saw Breaking Bad. I want to bust the fridge open. I want to find the money.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. So now all of you hanging out in the bathroom here for a second?
I'm going to the kitchen.
Okay.
Because it's the bathroom and there's 4 people. So
I tag out.
Eliana gets in like 20 seconds and she's like, nope, not for me. All right, I'm leaving.
All right. So yeah, looks like someone is having a solo rave or something was going on.
Okay, so roll me a criminology or forensics for their.
I got a 70 in forensics and a 60 in criminology. So,
That's all you.
Anyone better than
No.
How about a 35?
Nice. Okay. So based on your forensic knowledge, although it looks like there was a lot going down in here, it looks probably like this guy collapsed. He grabbed onto the towel rack, and then the towel rack just came down and broke everything on the way down.
Yeah.
It's not a scene that looks like a struggle. It looks like this dude just straight up collapsed.
I'm pretty sure he just trying to reach out for help. Man, these donuts are crunchy.
You might want to make sure they weren't poisoned while you're eating them.
See, you really need some coffee to just dunk this in here and then just
with that forensic success, you guys can. Samuel opens up the medicine cabinet just to double check some stuff, and there are lots more bottles like the ones that Eliana found, and these look like they're some kind of blood pressure medication that he was clearly taking for a while, there's bottles of aspirin, like the baby aspirin that you're supposed to take when you have heart issues. There's
right. By the by any of the the level of the dosage or anything like that, can I tell, is this severe? Is this
do you or anyone else in the team have medicine?
Doctors? Is there a doctor in the house?
I'm still not that kind of doctor.
Yeah, no, I'm what you call an unhelpful doctor.
Okay.
This is probably better than mine. So I don't know. Is 700 milligrams? Is that a lot? I don't even know what a milligram looks like.
You can't tell how much. You can't tell, like, if it's bad, except that you can see based on the expiration dates of the varying bottles and how much was left in them, that the dosage does go up over time. So whatever it looks like, exactly the way Carisi described it, that he probably just died of a heart attack. And based on the expiration dates on the bottles that Eliana found that are older, this is an ongoing condition that he probably had for quite a while. And even the most recent bottles in there were completely empty. So he was taking everything he had, and it seemingly just didn't help. This was where it was going to go.
All right, and I've checked. Have I searched? We checked around in the bathroom, the bathtub, the shower, and all that.
Yeah, you can do a search roll if you want as well.
I do a search roll. 35, and I believe my search is like 80 or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With your amazing detective skills, you do see some traces of blood here and there, but they're very minor. It looks like he probably scraped his hand on the way down. And then, yeah, based on the state of the bathroom, you can tell. All right, we may or may not have to erase this. It looks like after he expired, the things that happen to a body when they expire probably happened, and there's probably been some kind of maybe a cleaning crew that came in afterwards, or at least minorly, to clean up some of the bathroom. He wasn't bleeding, but he did everything else after he died. And some of the persistent traces of a dead body hanging out here for a while are still in this room. Like, this is not a situation where the landlord is going to have to, like, just paint over the walls and hope that everything's okay. He's probably going to have to tear the walls out and replace all of the insulation. It's gross. But that's not something you've seen dead bodies before. Yeah, no, nothing unnatural, nothing weird. It looks like this bathroom got kind of cleaned up after he died, and that all tracks with what Mrs. Janowitz said, that he was probably here for a couple of hours, and it probably started to smell pretty bad after a while.
All right. Bad medicine.
The kitchen.
The kitchen. All right. The adjoining kitchen is mostly bare with a smattering of cans, pans, and boxes. You also found the donuts stash.
Mm-hmm.
He probably shouldn't have been taking those, but whatever. He ate donuts. Cool. Whoever's in the kitchen, you can roll me a search.
Mm-hmm.
Rolling. Let's see.
Yeah, that's a negative, big buddy.
Yeah, no, just sort of looking around, and I utter the phrase, "It's a kitchen."
Peter, do you want to try to roll a search here?
For the bathroom?
Well, or for the kitchen, if you feel like moving on. Sam seems to have the bathroom down pat.
I'm gonna head to the kitchen. And I got a 49. My search is 20 though.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna start trying to see if I can get the refrigerator door off of the rest of the fridge.
Yeah, you guys look in. It is Bachelor City in this place. So there's maybe 4 plastic bowls, 4 cups. It looks like the kind of stuff that you would buy at a Target or a Walmart for super cheap. There are lots of frozen meals still in the freezer. Some expired milk, some instant coffee. Nothing real weird, thing outstanding. On the refrigerator is a crudely drawn human figure entitled Grandpa, which is poorly spelled. And it's signed by Cassie, and it has 2 gold stars.
I said it in the bedroom, and I'm going to say it again. We're just staring at the remnants of a sad old man.
Maybe the cabin was his happy place, and that's where he had a good time and partied like an old man should party and not a sad dump of a person.
Samuel, you've exited the bathroom. Would you like to roll search as well in the kitchen? Because everybody else.
Sure. I come back in and I drop the donuts on the table. Like, donut. I look around the room, do a little search. Oh, a 71 out of, fortunately, 80. So.
Yay! Samuel, good for you. You noticed that there's a key ring. It's pretty obvious once you actually figure out that it's there. But it's one of those things. It's like it's on the same rack as where like the broom and the dustpan are, so you wouldn't have thought that there would be a key ring there, but it's clearly a key ring. And examining that, you find there's clearly a front door key that probably matches this door. There's an additional key that if you hazarded a guess, would probably be to the door that you destroyed. There is a maybe an old car key, but it looks like to a car that probably hasn't been run in years, or probably got sold.
Like a 76 GM that's got the square, and then there's a round one for the
And then there are 3 additional keys. One of them is labeled cabin. And then there is a key that looks like it belongs to a padlock. And then there's another key after that isn't labeled as anything. But one of them is red and is labeled cabin.
All right. Well, no one wants a donut. All right. I swing the keys around on the key ring and go, looks like we're going for a road trip, everybody.
Peter, do you want to take anything with you? You were the only one that kind of found any potential vectors here.
I'm still like knocking on the refrigerator door to see if it sounds like there's anything. I'm gonna move on from that avenue. Just the cabin paperwork, just everything relating to the existence of this cabin.
Okay.
Because if the kids don't know about it, they probably don't need to. They probably don't care. And I'm guessing if we're looking for any Delta Green stuff, that's probably where it is.
Good point. Yeah, so you can take anything related to the cabin. That's all in that top drawer. You could probably pick up pretty much everything in that top drawer in a single box. So that includes stuff related to the cabin. That includes some other paperwork that seemingly doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you're going to have to like take a couple hours to actually dig through that and figure out what it is. But yeah, anybody else taking anything else from the apartment before you try to exit?
Just the donuts.
Okay. You're gonna take
And the keys.
And the keys. Oh, yeah.
Donuts and the keys. Peter's taking the paperwork.
Bottles. I still have those bottles just in case.
Okay. You have the bottles. Davenport, you want to take anything with you? Like a fancy dress?
No, I'm good. I think we can leave this tomb the way we found it.
Okay.
But what do we know since the door is broken?
So everybody,
but it's just what Egyptologist hasn't broken a tomb to get to the mummy.
So there's no Delta Green stuff here, everybody, and the Delta Green said there was Delta Green stuff somewhere. So it looks like we got to go to this cabin. I mean, should we call Delta Green, tell them their cat's still up a tree? Another tree? Your castle. Your cat is not in this tree. Your cat's
in another castle.
That's right.
You can give Carisi a quick text message. They're your handler, and Carisi will just say, confirmed, close all vectors. Make sure that there's a... Well, let me do it in his accent. All right, confirmed, close all vectors. Just make sure that there's nothing weird up in that cabin. We don't have any record of that.
Great. The cat is in another tree.
Cat is in a different tree.
How far is this cabin?
It is in the Poconos, so that would take you about 3 hours to get up to, and it is slowly getting dark. So I will say you probably should wait a day to go up there, unless you really want to investigate a creepy cabin in the woods in the dark.
I've seen that movie and it does not go well.
Well,
All right.
we know we're going. We just want to wait and regroup in the morning.
Yep, see y'all later. Where do we drop you?
Where are you going? I mean, I guess we can get back to the
You know
post
where
office.
she's
That'd be
going.
well, I know where she's going. I don't need to know where she's going. I just don't know how many stops this trolley makes.
So,
My
because
car
most
is
of
at
you,
the post office.
yeah. So most of you had been coming here independently. So yeah, Eliana can drop you off at the post office, and then you
Right.
guys can get hotel rooms, or you can try to reconnect with some of the people that you were theoretically supposed to be here hanging out with anyway. I think the only person that really can't do that is Samuel, who came up from DC. So you can't really just drive back to DC. I mean, you can, but it would take you.
I'm just getting a hotel
I've got-
room.
I've got a hotel here, and the only people around there are going to be the nerds from the convention I was at. So if anybody wants to bunk,
I'm good.
I guess I'll hang out with you, Dr. Peters, Shell. Yeah.
Wet
got
blanket
Risk.
tonight.
we could play a game.
Look, don't let the door hit you on the way out, and she just drives off.
Yeah. All right. So that's the plan, is that you guys are going to regroup in the morning, so we can take a quick break here and then resolve whatever happened in the night.
Dr. Davenport, are you coming with us?
Sure, games sound fun. That's yes.
You heard of Catan?
Oh yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah. So if now is the time where you want to take a break and then close the session, reopen it again so we can keep filming, that's fine. But this is the time to take a break, and then we've got one other vector to close.
Great. So you know what? We're right at.
Oh.
Do you think it'll be 2 hours? Because we're at just shy of 2 hours of live streaming or of actual recording.
Yeah.
So if you think it'll be 2 hours, then we can just use the same one because it'll be it's a 4 hour chunk.
Okay. I don't know how long the second thing is going to happen. That's the last vector, is going to this other apartment or cabin. And then once you guys resolve that is when everything's resolved. But I don't know how long that'll take. And I can give you an address.
Let's to be safe, we'll just start another one. So we'll let me just I'll make another studio, and then we'll just reconvene there. I'll send it to the Facebookie. And what say 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
All right, it's exactly 5 o'clock right now, so 5:10. Meet me back. I'll send the link.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Woohoo.